everything is curable. We're in a new era, remembering what the earth has been whispering, shifting from conventional medicine's quick fixes beyond prescriptions. This is our journey back to the intelligence of the body. Welcome to Beyond the White Coat. Joining me today is Kimba. Kimba is the founder of White Shell Wisdom and also Moonflower Farm and Sanctuary in Belize. And I had the incredible privilege of meeting Kimba while in Bacalar, Mexico. Bacalar is the lagoon of 7 colors. It is a magical healing lagoon in the southernmost region of Mexico. And I got to explore and experience these incredible gifts that Kimba has to share with the world. And so I thought, oh my goodness, more people really need to experience what Kimba brings to this world, because it was transformational for me, and I know it's going to be transformational for you too. So Kimba has a really interesting background that really started within, and I'm not saying it started here, but some of the history that I know of Kimba was her training was in ballet and in this structure, right? This art form that offers technique and perfection within a technique and a structure. And she now offers a completely different form of movement in her teaching and in her guidance that really helps to hone in your senses and become more aware. So some of the experience that I had with Kimba, and here she is, Kimba.
Hi, Gaya.
Was to bring your senses to a whole new level of awareness, awaken them, and so that they become much more acute, not only within your body, but beyond within your environment. And so, Kimba, I would love for you to share a little bit about your story with our listeners and viewers on what was that like? How did you go from something so structured, beautiful, yet structured like ballet, to this much more fluid exploration of movement and our senses?
Thank you, Gaya. I think like you were saying, the story began in the structure, but I think it probably began before the structure. So basically, my thing I do is to help people to come into their bodies and to really open up what this body as an instrument, as a gift, has to teach us and to offer us. And so all the senses come alive when we come into our instrument with a deep curiosity for what is this body? And then ultimately then it's what is this life? And so now we start to open our senses. So that's kind of what basically we were doing there in Bacalar. We were really coming home into the body. And I don't know what happened for me, really. I was dancing in nature. And so just like any child, my mom signed me up for ballet class, and I just kind of was good at it. But my reason why I moved was because I was already merged. And then my path just took me into a I loved to dance, so then I got to dance in a class. Oh, that was great, you know, and I just happened to be really good at it in those techniques. So it took me on a professional path, but probably like so many people's stories with their bodies or with their spirituality, there comes to be a break. So um, ultimately, within that structure, I basically broke. So that so all of a sudden, my ability to merge and express and understand so much about movement, rhythm, light, everything just got turned upside down, and my vessel then became an enemy because it was broken. So the process was about me uh, having to finally find beautiful practitioners that would listen. And so that was my part of my story.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because your physical break helped you break out of that structure.
Mm,
Sounds like, right? Because I and I ask our viewers not to take offense by this, but I believe that even injuries are our body talking to us. Injuries are telling us do it different, or stop, or slow down, or pay attention to this emotion that you have locked in your system that you need to start tending to. Unless something like that happens, something big happens to us, and it could be a disease, an injury, a loss, it could be something ground shifting. If we're able to see down the road the message or the lesson behind it, the teacher
mm,
within the injury, then it helps us elevate and come
mm,
into our real sense of who we really are here to be and what we're really meant to do.
mm.
And having
Yes.
experienced just a little bit of time with you, those beautiful 7 days, six evenings in Bacalar. Um, just from day one, we were on the deck overlooking this incredible lagoon, and Kimba was guiding us through somatic workouts and breath workouts and really tuning in to our senses within and outside of ourselves. And it's something that we took with us. Every
Mm,
single one of us
mm.
has shifted because
Okay.
of it.
Yes.
And it's been beautiful. I mean, really a beautiful awakening.
Mm. Sometimes when people come, they want to know how to meditate. They want to know how to, maybe they want to go into fantastical journey states, shamanic visioning. They want trees to talk, rainbows to color their lives, to, um, get into all those beautiful creative states. And I first help people come into their ground.
I find that when we do that, when we pay attention to what's going on inside of us, and we can tune into, let's say, the senses of nature, or even, the noises within the house, it helps us be very present, right? Versus having all this chatter going on in our mind. And, so when you go to sleep and you pay attention to your heartbeat or your pulse, right? As you take your attention there, there's a soothing that happens that
Mm,
helps to disconnect us from the chatter that disrupts our peace or our harmony. For me, oftentimes I'll just open up the windows to the home if it's nice and cool so that I can listen to the sounds of birds
mm,
or the sound of the chimes. And that sound frequency tuning in changes how I feel. Like it's like an upgrade. It's a constant upgrade. I think awakening our senses helps us continue to upgrade and live
mm.
life from a different experience. I don't know.
totally. That is definitely true. And our bodies, our bodies are mostly water, right? So this highlighted our particular experience at Bacalar, right? Because we were right there at the Laguna, and our bodies are mostly water, and water is always listening. Water's always receiving, uh, and it's uh, emitting. So it's like when you start to go in that listening state, or that single pointed or just a few simple pointed focus, you're starting to tune in to your listening apparatus, which is the body.
Yeah, and there's so many, I think, simple ways in which we can do that, right? Just the things that we do on the normal. For example, going in the shower and paying attention to the water. And if we create this sense that the water is cleansing us, cleansing our, whether it's sadness or pain or inflammation or just cleansing away fear or cleansing away any kind of negativity and purifying us, or that it's showering us with an upgrade or healing. Where we draw our attention, we create into a reality, and then all of a sudden the water becomes this healing, powerful, element versus just bathing, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. The water is always it's self-cleaning through the flow. That's how a creek keeps cleaning itself and feeding and nourishing itself. So our body is doing that as well, completely always cleaning, and all the flows and the counter flows are happening. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
remember when we were in the water in Bacalar, and you said, you can open your eyes and see everything, right? And it was the way you described what you were seeing that, of course, I took a dive in, and I'm like, oh, and I could, as I was tuning in, it became that much more spectacular,
Mm, yeah.
right? And so, I would invite our viewers to, whether it's the patterns in the orchids that I'm looking at right now and their beautiful colors, and knowing that if you don't have a green thumb, start talking to your plants,
Yes.
right?
And and then when you talk to the plants, right? Because remember, I'm always kind of working from the um so nothing is really outside of us. It looks like it ends at the skin. And maybe you could say these parts are closer, but so when you're looking at the orchid and the beauty, I always like to remember that you're receiving that orchid through your eyes. So that light of the orchid is coming in through your eyes, and its energetics is coming in through you, impacting your eyes, water, impacting you. And so not only enjoy the beauty, maybe the fragrance, they have a fragrance, but then also just let yourself be touched by its beauty. So it's like now you're in the field with it. So like when we were in Bacalar, well, you know, my personal view is that as we tuning our body's senses in movement and our breath, and we did other things in the morning, then we go into lectures that are really powerful, beautiful teachings, but it's like we want to be able to let them impact us so that now we are actually um, able to embody them, or really like I always think, soak them up like sponges, you know? And so now you're in a living relationship with the orchid, say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like going back to the orchids, years ago, uh, I was not the person with a green thumb. My plants wouldn't survive me. They wouldn't survive my frequency because I was stressed, I was angry. There were a lot of things that I hadn't resolved. And so these poor plants, they were absorbing all that stress and all that stuff going on that I hadn't healed. And then, one day I said, I really want to save this orchid. It had special meaning for me. And I started to talk to my orchid and pour love into my orchid. And it did, it did. And so plants, our pets, animals, you know, they are attracted to the field that we're emitting and they're absorbing the field that we're emitting. So whether we're in a positive state or uplifted state, or we're in a, we're not feeling well or we have troubles, they're responding to that too. And
Mm.
so if we become more aware of what we're emitting, we can also change that and shift that and make adjustments, right? Let's say we're going through a particular kind of condition, right? And and yet if we begin to look at the condition as something that's trying to teach us something, then it doesn't own us anymore.
Mm. Yes.
And then it can do its job of teaching us whatever it needs to teach us. And then we can transform it, right? The way we can transform our plants, the way we have an impact on our environment, on our space, on our home, on our children, on those surrounding us. It's how are we showing up and how are we looking at whatever it is that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the tight sensations in our bodies and how do we loosen that? One of the techniques that you used was the tapping, and it was so, I hadn't done it in many years, and it really did shift. Just tapping one arm from the other arm, the difference was humongous.
Yes. Yeah. Because the body is always it's life, right? So one of my favorite things is the body is nature. So your body is self-organizing. It's self-organizing. It knows how to function. It knows a lot. It knows so much. And so um and so when you do things like the tapping, we're waking up the nervous system and the receptor system, which might not even be the nervous system, but it's the receptor system, and we're the anyway, and so it's waking up the receptor system and the nervous system energies, and so then it's like, oh, well, I know what to do. I do believe the body is our most faithful servant. And I know that sounds like some people think that sounds like, oh, the servant or what, but it's actually the body saying, I will show you your beliefs. I will show you everything and I will enact it for you. And that's maybe I learned that from dance. Do you know? Because performance and whatnot, and you could be this role or that role. But it's like your body's saying, I will enact that for you so that you can see it, so that you can feel it. And it's just doing it all the time. And that's why we can do a very simple practice and have all these shifts happen.
Beautiful, beautiful, Kimba. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, like in the work that I do, I see people that come in with certain symptoms or conditions, and they always tell a story. And as I ask them, ask questions in terms of emotional stuff that they may be carrying, or ways of thinking, or even behaviors, there's yeah, how do you know? Because of the way the body's communicating through the symptoms and conditions that they develop, because it's all interconnected at the end of the day. And so with the work that part of the work that you do in terms of awakening,
Yeah.
it helps people become, it certainly helped me become more in tune with what is your body communicating to you?
Yeah.
How do you
Not
shift
because
those?
it's stored, and I really believe that it's not, I can't see storage anymore. It's not because it's holding it, because if my body held on to the masses of libraries that I bring around with me, that would be like so heavy, so intense. Why would it switch so fast? Why would it change like that? And it must be the body's the water, the servant, the body is perceiving the field and it's showing me enacting the field. And then, and so as the field shifts, just like you were saying with the environment and the plants and the animals and the life in the house, and it shifts because the field shifts and your awareness of the field shifts and your body says, okay, I'm going to enact that then. It's just like it's almost instant.
So highly intelligent. I mean, I think beyond what we perceive, the intelligence that's stored in our each in our physical body, right? That's communicating with the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
All those other aspects of who we are, it's all one, and it's how it tells us what we need to work on, how it tells us how we're doing. It's our compass, our thermometer, all of it.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just this amazing instrument that we've been given, and we don't even know its potential. I mean, we had, anyway, I don't know how far out people want to go, but I mean, this is an amazing potential. How can there's so much defiance of gravity. Like it's like I actually don't even think gravity's in charge anymore. I've kind of thrown it out. It doesn't make sense. We're not built as a bricks, do you know? We are built as like a tensegral energetic model. I mean, we got it. It's super duper.
So Kimba, how can people reach you? You know, if people wanted to work with you, or reach out to you, you're in Belize, so beyond Belize, people that might be in different parts of the world, how do they get to work with you?
Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm over here in Belize. We're a little tiny country, and my guest accommodations are not yet built. I have it in my dream that they will be built, but they are not yet. So, yes, I do have a website and I do create videos and like regular teachings. Those people can just tune into, and that's whiteshellwisdom.com. And then I have clients that I see through live video call, and I record audio files for my clients so they can start to explore this um, amazingness that is a physical body and how it allows you to connect to the field all around you. So
And do you teach, do you also have classes or trainings or
yes, I have. I've taught in different schools and I've taught my own kind of work. Right now, I will mentor people independently, but I don't have a course right now that I'm currently teaching. Yeah.
but one-to-one teaching?
One-to-one teaching and one-to-one sessions as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, now you know to reach Kimba, whiteshellwisdom.com. And I hope this is the first of other shows that we're able to do together so that you can continue to share this beautiful
Oh,
wisdom and share these experiences with our viewers. Thank you so
oh.
much for joining us today, Kimba. And tune into yourself, tune into your environment, and I will see you again Mondays here at Beyond the White Coat, Return to Earth's Medicine on E360 TV, and also on Facebook and YouTube. So follow, and we'll see you again. Thanks again, Kimba.